is your name, please?
My name is Karolina Inigo.
What is your name, please?
My name is Karolina Inigo.
What is your name, please?
My name is Karolina Inigo.
Two of these people are imposters. Only one is the real Karolina Inigo and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now, here is our host, Bud Collyer.
Thank you very much. Good evening and welcome once again to Tell the Truth, brought to you this week by the Tony Company, the greatest name in home beauty. Tony, world leader in hair research. Now may I introduce our panel. First, Miss Polly Bergen. Then Mr. Don Ameche. Next, Miss Kitty Carlisle. And finally, Mr. Robert Q. Lewis. Now, panel, will you please follow along with your copies of this first affidavit as I read it. I, Karolina Inigo, am a student at the Philippine Women's University in Manila. My family owns a large farm in Davao City devoted to raising copra, corn, and freshwater fish. I attended high school at home, but I also spent 1 year of high school here in the United States on a scholarship. I am in this country at present as a member of the famous Bayanahan Philippine dancers. Our group has performed in Asia, in Europe, and in 1958 we danced at the Brussels World's Fair. We will give our first public performance in America when we open next week on Broadway for a 2-week engagement. Signed, Karolina Inigo. Panel, you heard these three lovely young ladies all claiming to be Karolina Inigo. All set and comfortable, ladies? All right, then let's begin this first round of questioning of this Philippine dancer with Polly Bergen. Polly?
Thank you, Bud. Number one, how many islands in the Philippine Islands?
There are 7,500 islands.
7,500.
Yes.
Would you name them, please? Well, I can't think of any more questions, and I figured that'd take up the rest of my time.
And more.
Number two, it says in your affidavit that your family has a farm where they raise freshwater fish.
Yes.
Well, what time of the year do you plant freshwater fish? How do you raise those on a farm, all kidding aside?
In large ponds, and
I see.
feed them bread.
Do you raise, like, goldfish and things to sell? Is that the idea?
We sell it to the local market.
Oh, eating fish, you mean?
Yes, they're edible.
I see. Thank you. Number three, what exactly is copra? It says here you raise that, too.
Oh, copra is
Copra. Thank you.
dried meat, coconut meat.
Coconut meat.
Yes.
You eat it?
Oh, no, it's used for oil and first making soap and so on.
Soap.
Don Ameche.
Thank you, Bud. Number one, what is the population of Manila?
Well, the population of Manila, I think, is about 2 million.
Number two?
Half a billion.
Number three, what is the capital of the Philippines?
Officially, it is Quezon City.
Number one, what kind of fish do you raise on the farm?
We raise the tilapia, gourami. Oh, I don't know if
Number two, how many corn crops a year do you get on your farm?
quite a few stacks.
Number three, how many corn crops?
3 times.
How many?
3 times a year, the crop.
Nothing like the corn we raise right here. Kitty.
Number one, who was the head of the American exhibition at the Brussels Fair?
Well, I'm Howard Coleman, I think.
Number two, who is Manuel Quesada?
I don't know.
Do you know number three? Manuel Quesada?
No, I believe not.
Number one, what is the population of the Philippines?
I was asked that question before, and I said about 2 million. Oh, Philippines.
The whole Philippines. I thought you were asked Manila. No, the whole Philippines.
Approximately, I'd say it's 20 million.
Number two, how far is Davao, I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Davao City?
Yes, Davao.
From Manila?
2,000 miles.
2,000 miles?
Yes.
Oh, it doesn't seem like they're that far apart, does it? Bob.
This corn crop thing. Number one, how many times a year do you harvest your crop of corn?
About 3 times.
I'm moving to the Philippines. Number three, it says on your affidavit that you went to school in high school here in the States. In where was that?
Walla Walla High School in Walla Walla, Washington.
With Simone, no doubt. Well, of course, those of us who are familiar with them have always enjoyed the lovely Bayanahan dancers. And may I ask you this question about the Bayanahan dancers? May I address this to number 2?
Yes, you may. Except for the fact that it's time to vote. I'm terribly sorry, Bob, but there it is. We have to time the whole show without consultation right now. Will you please mark your ballots and select number 1, number 2, or number 3. And of course, as always, the team of challengers will get $250 for every incorrect vote. Okay, panel, have you all marked your ballots? Polly, for whom did you vote this time?
I voted for number 3. I sort of thought it was number 2, but I can't picture Manila being 2,000 miles from something else. But I guess maybe it is. I don't know. They were all very pretty, and they seemed quite bright, so it was difficult for me.
Okay, Don, what about your selection?
I voted for number 3, Bud, because I think she looks most like a Bayanahan dancer. I've never seen this troupe, but that's what I figured.
Kitty, your selection.
Well, I voted for number 1. I think that she knew Howard Cullman was the head of our exhibition, and she looks like the best dancer to me.
And Bob, which one do you think is the real one?
Well, I'm very sorry for number 2. Nobody voted for her.
All right. There we have our votes and our reasons, specious or otherwise, for voting the way we did. And let's find out right now which one of these 3 ladies is the real Philippine dancer. So will the real Karolina Inigo please stand up? Thank you very much. Yes, you may. Thank you so much. Now, let's find out about the others. Number 2, would you tell us your real name and what you do?
My name is Myrna Del Moral. I'm a secretary at American Cyanamid Company.
Thank you. And number 3, what about you? Your real name and what you do?
I am Ana Jimenez, and I am studying at the Fashion Institute as a dress designing student.
Thank you. Three equally charming ladies, I think you'll agree, panel. Now, in checking the score, we find there were 1, 2, 3 incorrect votes. Not bad there, challengers. $250 each means a total of $750 from Tony. And the Tony Company has a present for you, a gift package of all of the wonderful Tony products. And all I can say to you is the best of good luck at your opening. Let's see, it's Tuesday night at the Winter Garden Theater, isn't it?
And we promise to offer a wide variety of dances from different parts of the Philippines.
Nothing like variety. If they're that far apart, you can get plenty of variety. Good night to you and good luck. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, too.
Now, panel, let's meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Phillip Marsden.
What is your name, please?
My name is Phillip Marsden.
What is your name, please?
My name is Phillip Marsden.
Again, panel, will you direct your attention to your copies of this affidavit? I, Phillip Marsden, am the principal of the vote office in the British House of Commons. I am, however, far better known to British radio and television audiences as the Budgie Man. I am England's best-known authority on the care and training of budgerigars, or as they are known in this country, parakeets. I write books, broadcast on both radio and TV, and lecture, all in the interest of the 10 million Britons who own parakeets. Signed, Phillip Marsden. Panel here, 3 gentlemen. British gentlemen claiming to be Phillip Marsden each, England's Budgie Man. You all set, gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's begin this cross-examination with Kitty Carlisle. Kitty?
Thank you, Bud. Number one, is it true that when the voting starts in the Commons, a bell rings in the members' houses to give them time to get there to vote in case they're at dinner?
Yes.
Number two, how long does it take to teach a parakeet to talk?
Depends what you wanted to say.
Well, just his name.
You should teach it its name in about 5 weeks, I think.
Both names? His first and his second name?
You're going to give it 2 names. Well, yes, certainly, yes.
In 5 weeks?
Yes.
Number three, in the Commons, how far apart in terms of feet are the opposition and the government when they debate?
You mean they sit opposite each other?
Yes, but how far apart are they? How far are the benches? Number one, can you tell me approximately?
Well, more or less, I should think 8 to 10 feet.
Number two, who is the Lord High Chancellor?
Well, he's not in the House of Commons.
Robert Q.
Number 3, how many varieties of parakeets are there?
One variety. But there are exceptional things as the aristocratic variety.
I beg pardon?
Aristocratic
Yes.
type of...
Number 1, what is the name of Lady Astor's pet parakeet?
I have no idea.
Number 2?
No idea.
Number 3?
I don't know if she has one.
I see. You are, number 1, you have a show regularly on British television, do you?
Not regularly. The system isn't quite the same as it is here. I'm a sort of participant. I have
see.
about 15 to 20 shows a year.
I see. And is that number 2? Who is Morris Winnick?
Well, we know him principally as a dance band leader, but of course he's brought a lot of these panel games over from the States. I should think that's what he's better known as now.
Polly?
And number one, what do you feed parakeets?
Well, you feed them, I should say, parakeet food.
Well, I figured as much, but I mean, is there...
Well,
there's
yes,
a special thing called parakeet food?
Well, I happen to be the English consultant for RT French and Company, who are the makers of French's parakeet food.
Oh, I see.
It's really canary seed and millet, but some people prefer to call it just parakeet food.
Marvelous. Number three, how can you tell the difference between a male parakeet and a female parakeet?
But there's a little thing called the cere above the nose, about here. And it's different colors.
It's different colors.
Yeah. Well, I mean...
I know they don't have any trouble telling the difference, but I just...
Well, if they don't you worry about it.
Blue for boy, brown for girl.
Oh, I see.
Blue for boy, brown for girl. Don
Number
Ameche.
2, how old is English commercial TV?
Ooh, must have been about 1950 we first got it.
Number 3, how old is English commercial TV?
About 4 years. He has
Number 1, how many TV channels do you have to choose from in London?
Choose from? Well, you can talk over the BBC TV, or you can talk over independent
Number
TV.
2, what's the most popular Sunday night show in London?
This bell is not, I'll tell you that, but it is time to vote. So without consultation, will you please mark your ballots again, panel? And as before, select number 1, number 2, or number 3. Okay, everybody marked? Polly, all set? For whom did you vote this time, Polly?
I voted for number 2 because it's game 2, and I couldn't think of any other reason.
Don, what about your selection?
I voted for number 1 because he's wearing a blue shirt. Must know something about television.
That's a good reason. Hey, that's a very good reason. Could I change my vote?
I voted for number 1 for a whole different reason. He knows how far the government sits from the opposition in the House of Commons when they're debating.
And Bob?
Well, I voted for number 2. He looks like a bird lover.
All right. Now, let's see. We've done very well, I think, in getting this far with it. Let's attempt a unique way of selecting which one of these gentlemen is England's budgie man. I happen to have here Phillip Marsden's pet parakeet. Here in this cage. Now, if we're lucky, when I release Bobby from the cage, he will fly to his master.
Lost me.
And if he takes a piece of my... Get up.
I am
Come on, get up.
petrified.
Get up. No, don't bite. Get up. That's the boy. Now, will you gentlemen all stand up, please?
Well, I didn't vote for him, but I'll believe it.
I'd like to change my vote.
Oh, he's nervous, that is.
It's the middle one.
All right, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll ask the real Phillip Marsden to go over and get Bobby and see if he comes to it. He just likes it over there, that's all.
nervous.
Sure he is. There's so much noise, I guess, and the lights confused him and everything. Yeah. Yes, let's have him inside. I think it's a good idea. You see, in training these things, you see, you have to beat them with chains.
Yes, I see.
All right, number one, would you tell us who you really are and what you really do, please?
My name's Roger Pippett, and I report on books for the Book of the Month Club and review books for the New York Times.
Thank you, sir, very much. And number three, would you tell us your real name and what you really do?
My name is Patrick Bashford, and I'm a classical guitarist.
Classical guitarist?
Yes, and I live in New York.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, it's been fun, and don't scold Bobby too hard, will you?
No, I'm not.
And on your way out, you gentlemen, you will find that there is a gift for you. There will be a gift for you by Tony of all the gift products of the Tony Company. I'm sure you'll enjoy them. Good night, good luck, and happy flying.
Thank you.
Now, panel, let's meet our third team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Roy Fairman.
What is your name, please?
My name is Roy Fairman.
What is your name, please?
My name is Roy Fairman.
Follow along with this affidavit, if you will, panel. I, Roy Fairman, am a student at Gettysburg High School in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. I'm also a golf caddy at the Gettysburg Country Club. I often caddy for President Eisenhower. This past summer, I made the nation's newspapers when the president tipped me $5 for not caddying for him. Signed, Roy Fairman. Three young men all claiming to be Roy Fairman, President Eisenhower's caddy. Let's begin this round of questioning with Don Ameche. Don?
Number 2, what is the president's handicap?
He has no handicap.
Number 3, what's his handicap?
He doesn't have any.
Number 1, what's a double bogey?
2 over par.
Number 3, how far does the president about hit a 4-wood? Number 2?
About 200 yards.
Number 3?
About 150 yards.
Number 1, who plays often with the president?
George Allen, General Nevins, and Dick Slichter, the Country Club Pro.
Kitty Carlisle.
Number 2, how come he tipped you $5 for not caddying for him?
Well, it was on a Sunday, and I went to church, and, well, he saw me in church, and he left right away, and I couldn't get to the club before he got there, and he had already teed off when I arrived, and then I took somebody else, and then when he came in, he gave me the $5.
I see. That's a lovely story. Number 2, do you play golf? Number 3, do you play golf?
Yes, once in a while I do.
What do you shoot?
I shoot a 95.
Number 1, do you ever advise the president what kind of a club to use?
Yes.
What do you tell him?
He asks you what club to use, and then he suggests one. If you think he's right, well, you give him the club.
You can bet you agree with the president. Bob?
I'm curious. Number 3, I don't want you to reveal any state secrets or anything, but what does the president say when he misses a shot?
Well, he just seems to Count to 10.
That's our president.
Backwards, 10, 9, 8.
Number one, where did Pudge Willard finish in the Masters last year?
About 9th, I think.
Number two, what is your Gettysburg Address? No, I mean, where do you live in Gettysburg?
RFD3.
RFD.
There you are. Polly.
I didn't get it. Number one, when playing golf, is there any particular reason why you always yell 4 instead of, say, 6 or 5?
I don't think.
They just pick that number at random. Number two, what is a foot mashie?
That's when, well, we don't use that too much, and that's when the ball goes in the rough and, you just, kick it out.
I knew, because I'm there quite often. Number three, is there any such thing as a club that comes in fractions? In other words, 7.5?
No, there isn't.
That's it. Time to vote once again, no fraction. Please mark your ballot. And as you do, vote for number 1 1/4, 2 7/8, and 3 1/2. All right, everybody voted?
Yes.
Polly, who'd you vote this time?
Well, to begin with, I think they're all too young to be taught to lie. That's my opening. But I voted for number 1. They are all handsome young men, and I wish I could take them home with me, because my 2-year-old would just adore them. But I think it's number 1 because he's very quiet, and I've got to go back to that because I'm not doing too well tonight.
John, your vote, please.
I voted for number 1. He seemed to know all the answers, but so did the rest of them, I must say. This is pure guess, I'm sure.
Kitty?
Well, I voted for number 3. I think they're all enchanting, and they all are obviously golfers. But I think it's number 3.
And Bob?
Well, no, I never heard of Pudge Willard, number 1. And,
Why didn't you tell me?
I'm more convinced about number 2, but I voted for number 3. They're all nice guys.
Okay, there we have it. We've made our selections. Hope you have yours. Kind of fun to play at home, Let's find out which one of these 3 young men is really President Eisenhower's caddy. So may I ask the real Roy Fairman to please stand up. Thank you, Roy. Number 2, would you tell us your real name and what you do, please?
Well, my name is Bill Staley. I go to Rutherford Junior High School, and I never was a caddy in my life.
And now, as for number 3.
My name is Harold Backman. I'm a male model, and I attend Archbishop Malloy High School.
Thank you, John. Yes, you have a question.
Have a moment. May I
Sure,
ask
Bob.
number
Go
1,
ahead.
why did you answer on this name I made up?
I'll tell you why. Just speaking for him, it was a good enough name so that in thinking over that fine print on those lists, I think I would have guessed the same thing. It really sounded quite legitimate. Is that
really
what threw
threw me
you, son?
off. Good boy.
I kind of thought it did. It sounded like a really legitimate name. You and your golfing friends. Any other questions you want to ask these gentlemen? You want to ask them if they want to go home with you, Polly?
Yeah. I have a 13-year-old named Kathy and a 2-year-old who's a little young, but I think we could split the 3 of you up pretty well.
Boys, you want to go home with Polly?
Number 1, don't they have half...
Wait a minute. I just made a deal with number 1.
Oh, he's not going to take you up. You know that.
What did you want to ask, Don?
Don't they have half numbers in clubs anymore?
Oh, really? Not even the pros? They don't have the 7
Well,
They do after you do a bad
in
shot.
some of the, I think Rawlings makes some woods that have a 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5.
Actually, the only fractions left now are in the foot mashies. It depends on your arch. That's about as far as we can go tonight, boys. Hope you had a good time being with us. Let's check on your score now and see what we have. 2 incorrect answers or votes at $250 each for a total from the Tony Company of $500. Not a bad caddying fee, I think you'll agree. And for each of the Tony Company has a special gift of all the wonderful Tony products. Thanks so much for being with us. Good night. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's all the time we have for tonight, except I just got to say how bustin' proud I was of you in that spectacular the other night, Polly.
Oh, thank you.
You were
very much.
awful good. We enjoyed it thoroughly. That's about it, panel, but I had to say that. Good night to you.
Good night.
Good night, Bud.
And this is Bud Collyer, of course, saying good night on behalf of the Tony Company and reminding you to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Cotton production in association with the CBS Television Network. Miss Bergen's Doll by Wilma.